We are starting shortly with Brightpaw. Okay. Alright, let's get started. Start Act 1, Murder.
Oh, there you are, Theo. Honestly, it's your own dream. Do you even know where you are? Ah, well, it's time we got you sorted out with these cards. Come on now, we haven't got all day. Oh, sorry about that. Just give that rewind button a tap and we'll see if we can't start walking around things instead of into them.
Okay.
Oh, there you are, Theo. Honestly, it's your own dream. Do you even know where you are? Ah, well, it's time we got you sorted out with these cards. Come on now, we haven't got all day. Oh, sorry about that. Just give that rewind button a tap and we'll see if we can't...
Click the wrong card.
Oh, there you are, Theo. Honestly, it's your own dream. Do you even know where you are? Ah, well, it's time we got you sorted out with these cards. Come on now, we haven't got all day. Oh, sorry about that. Just give that rewind button a tap and we'll see if we can't start walking around things instead of into them.
There we
If
go.
you ever find yourself in a pickle, just remember that you can take a step back and try something else. Now, give these a whirl and see where they get you. There you go. Remember, Theo, you can look around at any time. What's that just there? Maybe you should give it a peek. I wonder what that's doing sitting around here. Maybe you should keep your eyes open for other interesting things. You never know what you'll find. Well, we're done here. Go on, leap into your family's arms. Lauren and Nathaniel are waiting.
Act 1, Murder. Waking up.
What was that? Oh, okay. Well. After being woken unceremoniously by a sudden noise, our hero Theo felt that if he was to be kept awake, he deserved to know why.
Disturbance.
Hearing the yelling from the kitchen, Theo wondered if he had really moved from his bed just to listen to some tiff. Perhaps things were a little more serious than he'd thought. The kitchen seemed normal. Except, what was that he could see across the room? He had to take a closer look.
You're saying the click in here?
God. Theo couldn't believe what he was seeing. His family, motionless on the floor. But that was it. No gun? Nothing at all. Was someone else here? As he turned away, Theo could only think about one thing. Someone was surely responsible for this, and he had to know who.
Light.
Cautiously examining the hallway, Theo saw no signs of the killer. Instead, he found a path of destruction carved through strange machines before him.
Grandfather clock. Nathaniel's graduation. Out of place robot. Any other clickables? Oh, is this one doesn't work?
The deeper into the room Theo moved, the more he realized that something was amiss. That bright red light hadn't always been there, had it?
Chase.
Although he could not shake the image of his departed owners, Theo suddenly found himself somewhere very different indeed. However, before he could appreciate his new surroundings, he found his attention drawn to the glowing hot wall of energy in front of him.
Ooh. Ruined security robot.
Faced with something so clearly hazardous, he thought it might be wise to take a moment to think before diving headlong into oblivion.
Let's see. My path looks okay.
Oh, what a pleasant surprise. After his daring maneuver, Theo found that he was still alive. Unfortunately, there was one more laser to slip past. Theo glared at the broken robot blocking his path. After risking his life twice, he was in no mood for this obstruction. Perhaps that broken vent offered salvation. Still somewhat tense from his previous trial, Theo was immensely relieved to find no deadly lasers when he emerged from the vent. On the other hand, he was instead faced with a functional, frantic, and quite soggy security robot.
A poor custodian spinning their wheels, attempting to clean up after someone else.
As he skirted by the distracted machine, Theo found himself eyeing the hole-riddled aquarium. Either someone was stalking the halls shooting at water features, or the security needed to work on their aim.
Oh, wrong way. Let's try this.
Though the appeal of fresh fish was enticing, it was offset by the risk of an unexpected bath. Rather than contemplate such a terrible fate any further, Theo decided to make a quick exit.
Oh, wrong way. And I can't go that. I can't use that card. So let's try this one. Stealth.
Advancing cautiously, Theo was encouraged by the sight of another aquarium.
Okay, so that moves us.
Although Theo could be easily distracted, he knew when it was time to focus.
Let's hope that was the right move. Oh, looks like I gotta be careful. Uh-oh. Oh. We are out of moves. What does this do? Oh. It changes the display. Yeah, let's redo this puzzle.
Advancing cautiously, Theo was encouraged by the sight of another aquarium, this time with the water safely inside, not threatening to unpleasantly dampen his fur. There was no time to fish, however, as security appeared to be taking its job a touch more seriously. His attention away from the unattainable, Theo delicately stepped between the broken remains of some very expensive-looking showpieces. Despite his lack of any understanding of fine art, he was disgusted by the wanton destruction before him. Having successfully weaved past the searching eyes of the guard, he was overjoyed to see that he could just follow the killer through a door, instead of crawling through the ventilation like a rodent. Theo cast his eyes about the grandiose room, the impressive decor marred by the smoking wreckage of robotic guards. Clearly, someone with no respect for interior design had been this way. However, hanging over the remains of a reception desk, Theo spotted something that took his interest. Bright Paw Industries.
Vending machine. Offers a variety of villainous beverages. A reception bot. This robot can't stop panicking. It refuses to abandon its position at the reception desk. That's dedication. Alright, so the exit is over here.
Although this place was impressive, Theo knew he had precious little time to admire it. Despite the
Oh, I got zapped. Alright, let's move only a little bit. There we go.
Despite the damage, the underlying class of this Brightpaw establishment was clear. The placement of several large aquariums, brimming with exotic fish, was an inspired design choice that Theo could respect. Theo crossed the room, breathing in the intoxicating fragrance of fish, while taking care to avoid the remaining hazards. As he did, his mind began to wander. Why was a place like this situated beneath his home? And more importantly, why had these fishy treats not been brought to his attention before?
Act 2. Show 4.
At first glance, it appeared that Theo had stumbled into a storage room for broken glass. Except there were other items in the glittering fragments. Grenades, missiles, an umbrella.
Patrol bot. And oh, collectibles. Trick umbrella advertisement. Okay, so that bot's gonna come up. So let's see how we're supposed to move on this. Am I supposed to wait here, maybe? Oh, okay. Oh.
Theo padded behind the guard, pondering his discoveries. A hidden underground facility, robotic security, and now rooms filled with odd weapons. What on earth was this place? Looking back, Theo considered that it was perhaps unwise to leave such destructive toys lying around. On the other hand, there was no way someone would leave live explosives on display. Probably best to ignore it and hurry on.
The boardroom.
Theo contemplated the ruins of the once magnificent boardroom, which had been reduced to little more than burnt mahogany by some kind of explosion. Apparently, the killer had needed to clear the room in a hurry. But why? Oh, perhaps those lasers were a motivator.
Nathaniel's dealings. Trapped chair. Okay. Well, this one seems relatively safe. Oh. Well, that doesn't seem to be a way to go. Let's go back. Can't go that way. How about this? Oh, the laser gets closer, I see. Okay, do we wait first? No, that's not the move. Let's try this. Well, that doesn't seem like the puzzle. And it doesn't let me go this way. let's see. Do I time this, maybe? There we go.
With the wall of death slowly advancing, Theo scrambled for a plan to slip by. There, across the room, a shattered glass wall offering a glimpse of escape.
A glass wall. Okay, how do I get behind the glass wall? Or am I supposed to go back, maybe? Oh, I see.
Deftly avoiding glass with his paws, Theo found his eyes drawn to a large portrait on the wall. Was that Nathaniel? As he stood, he wondered, how much of all this was his master responsible for?
Motive.
Someone had clearly been rifling through the deliveries recently, though they didn't seem to have found what they were looking for.
Storefront. Patrol bot blueprint. A technical specification for a Bright Paw Industries security robot. Surprisingly simple. A collection of crates turned over in a desperate search. Box of empty vials. Box torn open and abandoned, leaving the vials with an untouched. What could these be for? Anything else?
Theo had apparently added his name to the waiting list. The killer had been looting the facility, and it was unlikely that they planned to use volatile weaponry to spread peace and joy. Being a conscientious cat, Theo knew it fell to him to put a stop to the killer's nefarious activities.
Depot. Ooh.
Finding himself inside a warehouse, the towering stacks of crates gave Theo some measure of hope. Perhaps the killer would try to search the top of an unstable pile and fall to their doom.
Okay. Sea mine crate. Something built to sink ships will have no trouble with an overconfident cat. Not for prodding. Hefty weapon case. Sadly, none of these weapons of destruction appear to be built with paws in mind. The world can be a very unfair place.
Lost in daydreams of the killer being buried alive, Theo stepped blindly forwards onto a conveyor belt, promptly shuffling him away from his happy thoughts.
Alright, let's see. There we go. Go straight
Perhaps
forward.
it was unlikely that the killer would be ended by fallen cargo, but the belts leading into the dark and deadly machinery seemed to promise an untimely demise. Spotting a bundle under some nearby crates, it appeared Theo's wishes had been heard. However, he tempered his excitement until he could get a closer look.
Looted explosives crate. A tipped over crate that should be filled with explosives but is worryingly empty. completely average box. Oh, an empty crate. Very interesting. Close to the definition of scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Theo tempered his excitement. He didn't.
Oh, okay, more crates. Okay, so we can't path this way. Let's try this. Alright, that doesn't work either. There we go. Possibly. Okay, let's try this one.
Stepping over a broken belt with great care.
There we go.
The empty crates led Theo to conclude 3 things. The killer had found what they were looking for, they were definitely up to something, and Theo's work was not yet done.
Oh.
He moved on with the hope that the killer's loot would be enough to slow them down.
Oh. There we go. Take cover.
Theo pondered the erratic crusade of the robots as they fired at non-existent threats. Perhaps the killer had just passed through?
Laserbot. There's something simply wonderful about lasers. Efficient, destructive, and deadly. You know where you are with lasers. Mysterious drawing. Lines carefully etched into concrete that vaguely resemble a cat. The determination of the artist excuses their lack of attention to detail. Algae container. A specially designed crate used to safely house ominous algae. Oh, I see. Oh no! I got lasered. Alright, let's try this.
The belt,
Ooh.
unable to tell the difference between a cat and a crate, and lacking the desire to learn, moved him once again as it would any other box. As he headed for the door, Theo couldn't shake the feeling that the strange blue algae was creeping steadily across the wall behind him. Oh well, it was probably harmless.
Okay, so how do I move from here? Okay, that wasn't the move to use? How about this one? There we go.
Whoever Theo was following had certainly spooked these poor robots who were all consumed by blind panic.
Okay, so does this guy like rotate maybe? Scribbles. Big algae container. This crate was developed to hold large amounts of glowing algae, also functions well as mood lighting. Scribbles. Odd cipher. A bizarre series of patterns with no clear meaning. Perhaps some kind of code? Ooh, I see.
As he carefully padded forwards, avoiding lasers, Theo noticed a most curious drawing etched into the wall. But why would a killer stop to doodle?
So how do I solve this one? I have to step back for a little bit. There we go. Then we move one forward.
Stop thinking about the bizarre graffiti he kept seeing. It was unlikely the killer was taking the time for artistic creativity. Was someone else in the facility?
Vandalism.
As he stepped into the room, Theo found his racing mind halted by yet another drawing of a slightly more significant scale.
Abstract mural. A series of rigid geometric lines that seem to take the form of a figure. What could it be? Okay, so that's moving down.
Theo tried his best to examine the etching, but found it devoid of artistic value.
So let's see. There's nothing that will block when it goes down. Can't go that way.
A for effort, he suppose.
Is there anything to else? Oh, here's something to click on. Gun rack. A variety of lethal and very illegal firearms. A bestseller. Let's wait. Oh, I think I messed up a card, possibly. Oh.
As he began to move away, Theo couldn't help but wonder who would put so much effort into these acts of vandalism. Was it maybe some kind of poorly drawn calling card? Perhaps, he thought as he carried on, the murderer was simply an awful artist. Whatever it was, the mural failed to hold Theo's interest long enough for any meaning to be gleaned.
I clicked on it. Loading.
According to the booming sounds of heavy industry and the massive shipping containers, Theo had found himself in some kind of loading station.
Let's see. Oh, here we go. A bright red necktie deliberately knotted around a railing like a flag. It almost feels too obvious. Alright, let's see how this puzzle works.
Theo's eye was caught by something colourful and clearly out of place hanging from a rail across the room. A discarded tie. Was this some kind of taunt? It was becoming clear to Theo that the large boxes wouldn't just wait for him to cross, so he quickened his pace towards the infuriating clue. Clearly the killer had left this tie to send a message, but in doing so they had left a trail for Theo to follow. Perhaps he'd get the better of them yet.
Boarding.
Though he was intrigued by the surprisingly expressive train waiting before him, on the other side of the tracks a curious hole in the wall drew his eye. Perhaps the killer had made their own exit.
Click on all of the things. Oh, coverage crate. What does it hold? Jewels? Acorns? The gateway to another world? Sadly, due to your indifference, we will never know. A zero-emission, semi-sentient train fueled by only its self-hatred over public transport.
Stepping onto the train, Theo glanced towards his goal and noticed a strangely carefree-looking robot bumbling around near a control panel. Hopefully this one wasn't a threat.
Uh-oh.
The train began to quake, and Theo couldn't react fast enough to leap off. He had better find something to hold on to.
Locomotion. Ooh.
Theo was quite unprepared for the sudden velocity and found his current predicament extremely upsetting. Luckily, he just needed to hold on until the train looped back to the station.
Oh, can't go that way. Oh, going that way doesn't really work. Let's rewind.
As the hatch broke free and rocketed past him, Theo pressed himself against the train and vowed to dedicate the rest of the ride to keeping his eyes open for low-flying objects of feline destruction.
Yeah, I can't go that way. Oh. Let's see, that might have been not the right card. There we go.
Theo might have found some comfort knowing he wasn't the only one caught unaware by the sudden departure. But it was all he could do to just keep his paws on the ground.
Oh, how about this way? Oh, I'm gonna get ran over. Alright, let's see if there's a different card I need to use on this. Let's try this one. That doesn't seem right. I can't use that one. I might be missing a card. Alright, none of those cards seem to work. Let's move back another. Alright, how do I do this? There we go. Oh no! What happened? Let's try this.
Theo tried not to let the burning robot distract him from his efforts to survive!
Alright, let's see. Do I go forward? Okay, I think I'm missing another card. Let's try. Can't use that. There we go. Oh, still missing something. Let's move back a little bit more. There we go.
In the distance, Theo could just about spot the station! Approaching at a rapid pace! He just hoped to hold on a little longer!
Oh, I'm gonna get squished.
Oh, no, no, no!
There we go. Disembark.
Theo staggered off the train quickly, driven by his newfound appreciation for solid ground and the terrible fear that it might suddenly set off again.
Okay, let's click around. Train control panel. A complex control panel that had clearly been tampered with. Anything to click on here? Alright, let's see.
Just ahead of him, he could see that bloody robot that had sent the train off in the first place.
Oh. Disappeared. Okay, so what happens when I guess nothing happens when I run out of moves? Alright, let's try this. There we
As
go.
he followed the irritating machine through the jagged opening in the wall, Theo hoped that he wouldn't ever have to lay eyes on it again.
help.
Theo eyed his new surroundings curiously, noting the piles of unused tiles and pipes. Across what little floor existed, there was a sharp drop, from which a blinding light and tremendous heat emanated. Beside this abyss sat... that bloody robot. It appeared that turning off the machine was the right course of action, as the strange barrier obscuring the exit had quickly vanished.
These stacks of material are most likely intended for construction purposes. Hey Radon, how are you? I've been pretty good. Yeah. Alright, let's see. It seems about the right card, hopefully.
Theo was happy to move on and leave that robotic liability behind. Sure.
A busy little drone making sure the power is in the right place. Hopefully at the right time.
The killer couldn't be too far now. Entering another area with limited flooring, Theo wondered why all of these rooms seemed so unfinished. Maybe the... it was starting to look like Theo might have a tail. No pun intended. Oh, apparently Theo's new friend had some value after all.
Oh, I see.
As the oblivious robot scampered over an obvious
It's
switch,
been really cute so far.
for the consequences.
So
When
this
none presented
is...
themselves,
I'll wait
he
for the
decided
narrator
to
to stop.
stay on alert. There was no way he was safe while that machine was bumping into things.
So this is Brightpaw, and it is a game I am doing a sort of sponsor of. So there is an associated link for this that if anyone is interested in this game can buy it, and it'll help me get some income. A wall made of garbage and L-beams. Bored robots aren't the best architects, it seems. But yeah, it's been an interesting game so far. It's very cute. Kind of chaotic, but very cute. Yeah. Switch it up.
Contemplating the state of the room ahead, Theo reluctantly accepted that perhaps the robot's help might be necessary.
Okay, so let's go around the corner here first.
As he threw a disparaging glance at the machine, Theo noticed some worn writing on his chassis. D4Z.
Oh, I might have did that a little bit too early, so let's back up a little bit. Do I need to click this? There we go. It looks like I used the card that I needed to get across there. So let's try that again. Alright, now we click on this. Yep. Okay, so I can't progress with that, but I can progress with this. Alright, let's go around the corner.
As a loud noise reverberated behind Theo, he wondered just what he had done to be cursed with a trundling mishap.
lava pipe. The heat coming from this pipe is so extreme, it's a wonder the whole thing hasn't melted. Anything else to click on?
D4Z. D4. Da Z. Da Z. Daz. Ooh, Daz. Daz isn't bad. Though his companion seemed to be some kind of cosmic setback magnet, Theo had to admit, Daz was endearing. Aggravatingly so.
So yeah, there's, I think 70 levels is what it said.
Overwhelmed by the heat pouring from the broken machine, Theo mourned the obvious failings of engineering safety standards. How on earth was he going to reach the elevators beyond this mess?
Heavily damaged machine. That will probably require a specialist or two. Hopefully it's not too important. Nice, that's cool. Yeah? See what clicking this does? Oh, there's our buddy. Oh, that didn't seem like the move. Let's try. Let's do one step. Oh, I need to be
heard the now
there.
familiar sound of Daz activating another switch.
Oh, I
Cautiously
see.
opened his eyes and was pleasantly surprised to see something positive had finally come from this robot's help.
Anything to click on? I don't know if the link supports any mobile purchases. I think it goes to Steam, but maybe the Steam one is mobile compatible. Oh, I need a different card. Okay, let's see. Do I need to do this? No. I think I'm missing a card. Can't use that one. Can we use it now? There we go.
As Daz hurried into the elevator, Theo found himself growing slightly less aggrieved. Perhaps having the little fellow around might even be useful. As the elevator rattled to a screeching halt, Theo found himself suspended on what could kindly be referred to as a rough and ready bridge, or not so kindly as an invitation to a long plummet to certain death. Theo watched as Daz leapt gracefully down onto the scaffold to aid in his journey across.
Alright, this will probably be the last puzzle for tonight's stream of this game. A key component in weapon manufacturing and the perfect place for the finale of an 80s era action movie. And I will be playing this, or at least the campaign goes up until March for me, March of 2021. So I'll be doing this when I can.
Hopefully, he hadn't broken anything important
Throughout the week. But I'll do short intervals that's mostly based on Twitch's ads, that way they don't interfere during the campaign.
Considering the barrier ahead of him, Theo wondered if Daz could assist him once more, with the right guidance, of course.
Modern technology meets primitive methods. Delightful. Alright. Have a good one, Ridon. Hope things go easy on you. And thanks for stopping by. Alright, let's try this one. I don't think that works. Let's try this card. Okay, we can't do that. So let's try this one. Oh. That doesn't seem quite right either. Oh, there's things to click on. Geothermal generator, an answer to the question of why evil geniuses are always in close proximity to magma flows. Not sure if it's worth the risk though. Any other clickables this time?
He took a moment to brace himself for a potential failure on Daz's part.
Let's start all the way over. Okay, let's try. So it feels like I have to use this. That doesn't work. This one doesn't work. So it feels like this is kind of like forced. Oh, we can go this way though. Oh, I see. Ooh. Okay, I might have to approach this a little differently. There we go.
Theo found he quite enjoyed the company of the small robot, when he wasn't actively annoying him. The unlikely companion set off into the cave, ignoring the tribal warnings decorating the entrance. They were probably just for show anyway.
Act 4, Level 6, Graveyard.
The large chamber was filled with the clanks and groans of tortured metal, punctuated by the steady drip of stagnant oil.
Alright, I am going to end there for now. I will be, again, playing this throughout the next couple months. Hope those watching enjoyed what they've seen of the game, and feel free to use the link if you'd like to purchase it. It will help support me and my stream. But other than that, thank you all for spending time with me, and I'll see you next time. Have a good night.